It's This Week in Science. Well, hello, seventh grade. Welcome to This Week in Science. This week is called Natural Hazard Predictions. Unlike the past, I did not create a slideshow for this week. This week, it's you that will be creating the slideshow. It's you that's going to be creating the screencast. This week is about you creating something. So I gave you, and by the way, it's pretty much a pure STEMscope week. So I'll be showing you the app in a moment. This is This Week in Science. First thing, the notebook. Notice there is no slideshow. There's no slideshow. Probably upset some of you. You were to read the textbook. It's right here. It's also on the app. And then you have an assignment to back it up. That's Monday's class. That is Monday's lesson. That is Monday's lesson. We have an assignment right here, all right, where you write down in red, okay, red font, okay, use red font, please. It's just so much easier for me to know that you actually did the thing. All right, here, I'll even make it red itself. I'll make it bold and loud. Okay, use red font. So here, let me even go one step further. I can hopefully get that thing going red right now. Look, it's turned red already. Okay, so please use red font when you're answering your questions. Okay, it says describe what natural hazards might occur in the areas marked with a square based on their location, populations, and climate. Now, look, there's a whole bunch of different natural hazards. It's not just there's one answer, all right? Now, let me give you right now, Hawaii. Okay, that's Hawaii, number 5. So over here for number 5, I might even write down, hey, this is the HAWAI. I think that's how you spell it. I'm going to make sure that this font, I'm going to make sure that this thing is getting written in red. Sometimes I have a hard time with this. As you can see, it's hard. I got to get my glasses on. This is at least make it bigger, the font, make this a little bit easier to see. They'll make it red. And now once it's going, HAWAI, Hawaii, ha, a, oh my God. This is what I need to do. And you gotta, sometimes this is just what you gotta do. It's hard to do all this stuff here in front of you guys. I'm only gonna do this in one take too. This is just going on too long. I got to get all this stuff out. I got a zillion requests for my time right now. So in Hawaii, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about all the different natural disasters that can occur in Hawaii. Okay. Number one natural disaster that's going to be occurring in Hawaii for sure is volcanism. Right? Volcanoes. Now, how do I know that? Last week we were talking about hot spots. That's one thing. And then you read it in the book. This is called linking literacy. The idea is that you read the book and then you answer the questions after you read the book. That's the point. Now, there's a separate assignment here, right, where you're to copy and paste an image of a hurricane, of a tornado, and of an earthquake. It's supposed to be that you're drawing it, but it's too hard to have you guys do that and put it in your science folder. Oh, I forgot to mention that. You want to put this in your science folder when you're done, when you're turning this thing in. Description of the event. You write down what in red. All right, use red font when you're answering these questions yet again. And you want to talk about, in this case, you want to go into what a hurricane is. How do you know what a hurricane is? You read the book. You read the book. You write it down. And then you write down the categorization scale. And you write down what it's called and like what are the different things. I'm going to give you like a category 5 hurricane. What does that mean? Okay, so you kind of like write down some scaling event in terms of how it's all figured out. Then you got tornadoes and earthquakes, 3 big disasters. All right, 3 disasters. That is Monday's lesson. Now let's talk about Tuesday's lesson. Tuesday's lesson is all on the STEMscope app. In fact, the whole week, this entire week in science is based on the STEMscope app. All right, this week, we're working on natural hazard prediction scope. Last week, we did the geoscience processes. The week before that, We were doing seafloor spreading, plate tectonics. All right, that's what we've been working on. Now, I think in the last 2 weeks of the year, we'll probably get into this biodiversity thing to end the year with. All right, so that's where I'm probably going to end up the last 2 weeks. Hopefully, it gets a little bit lighter. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. This is the last week. So, this natural hazard prediction is where I'm getting all the information from, period. End of discussion. This is a STEM scope week. I hope you like it. I hope it works out. It's going to find out. So the STEMscopedia is what the linking literacy is based on. These two assignments go hand in hand. You read the book, you do the worksheets. That's kind of the idea, all right? Then I found the activity of the week is keeping me safe. I decided not to give you the tuba because I didn't want to give you guys too much to do. All right. This morning, I took away the tuba. Originally, I had the tuba, I took it away because I thought it would take you too long. All right. Instead, I'm focusing on the content connection videos on predicting earthquake, predicting volcanic eruptions, and the reading science on hurricanes. So, something on volcanoes, something on earthquakes, something on hurricanes. That's Tuesday's Explain. So, you've been explained everything I can come up with. All right. You read the book and you did the videos. This is all from them. Okay. Then you guys are going to now do the Keeping Me Safe assignment. I found this from STEMscope. This is a research assignment. I took their idea, their editable files. They suggested it's going to take between 2 and 3 hours. Reality is I cut it down. All right. They want you to do more than this. So I'm thinking it's going to take you about 2 hours. That's what I'm giving you. That's why I'm giving you 3 days to do it. Okay. 3 days because of what this said. This is called Keeping Me Safe. You are to research one of the following natural hazards, and then you're going to make a slideshow, and then you're going to screencast over that. All right. So what I did was I wrote a whole assignment on this. And let's go back to the calendar. So I took the STEMscope assignment and I wrote my own thing on it called Keeping Me Safe. And as I wrote down, this might take you 2 hours to finish. All right. So I wrote my own assignment called Keeping Me Safe. If I have a chance, I will make my own version of this thing later. All right. So what I'll do is I'll end up making my own screencastify. I was going to do it on wildfires. I started doing it and I ran out of time. All right. So turns out that a lot of people are worried about natural disasters. You know, if a global pandemic isn't enough to get people worried, they're worried about other stuff. Well, your little cousin's worried. All right. He's worried, your cousin is worried. He might be worried about tornadoes based on where he lives, right? He might be worried about floods. It's because of where he lives. Because he lives in the East Coast, you know, he might be worried about hurricanes. He's not going to be worried about a hurricane if he lives in Washington State, okay? That's not where they're getting hurricanes, all right? But he might be worried about tsunamis if he lives out there. So you want to pick the natural disaster that's based on where your cousin lives. Now, you don't really have to have a cousin. You just make up your cousin. And you pick up a location that is going to be based on, you know, on what your little cousin's worries are. All right. Your cousin's worried. All right. Don't worry. It's up to you to help him out. All right. Because his mom is reaching out to you. Okay. His mom's reaching out and she's like, you know, your cousin's worried, you know, and I heard that you've been learning so much in science this year. And I heard you're learning about natural hazards. And can you please educate your cousin, please educate your cousin and reassure him that everything will be okay because we will mitigate the potential problems. All right. So we will mitigate this whole thing because remember that's natural hazard prevention. We don't want that. Even the natural hazard might happen. Doesn't mean that you're in trouble. Don't worry. You don't need to be worried. You want to reassure them this. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to make a slideshow and then you're going to have a screencast over that slideshow that you're just sending off to your cousin. Now you have to figure out a way to make this thing happen like about 4 to 5 minutes long, a 4 to 5 minute long screencast to educate and comfort your cousin, to reassure him not to be worried about this natural hazard. I am going to make an example one, right, for you. It'll be up probably tomorrow. I'll spend some time tomorrow morning writing this up. It'll be fun. It'll be on wildfires. All right. So my little guy, my cousin, let's say he lives up in Northern California. All right. He heard about what happened in Chico and all the wildfires, and he's worried because he lives up in the woods. He's worried. Should be worried. All right. But we're gonna write a slideshow, and then we're gonna have a screencast that we're gonna send to our cousin to say, yeah, but there's a lot of things that you can do to help mitigate the danger. All right. So don't worry. Yeah. We're going to educate you, though, on what wildfires are, or whatever the natural hazard is. All right. So the first thing is you need to research. You got to know what you're talking about. All right. And you got to make sure that you can get your little cousin's attention. You just don't want him to blow this thing off. All right. So even though I wrote down how many slides you should be doing this stuff on, that's just a suggestion. The key thing is that it's like 4 to 5 minutes. It's factual, it's accurate, and it's about mitigating. It's like, don't worry, dude. Little guy, don't worry, little guy. It's okay. It's okay. All right. It's all right. I know you're worried. You have a right to be worried. A lot of people are worried about earthquakes, about volcanoes, about floods. People are worried. You pick. Now, the thing is, which one is he going to be worried about? All right. Is he be worried about tsunamis? Hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes. What is your cousin worried about? And you got to make sure that if he's worried about tornadoes, you better put him in Tornado Alley. All right. If he's worried about volcanic eruptions, you better put him near a plate boundary or near a hot spot. Okay. If he's worried about earthquakes, put him in our plate boundary. Transform plate boundary. Be a nice one. Okay. If he's worried about floods, where are you going to put him? Hurricanes? Tsunamis, one place to put them in a tsunami in the United States. I prefer that your cousin lives in the United States, by the way. All right. I prefer that. I don't want him, so your cousin, that's what you're going to do. Now, I put links that help you research and know more about tsunamis from your friends from CK12. But let's recall that this comes from the STEMscope book, which means that STEMscope has something to say about this as well. All right. Then you're going to Google image stuff. You're going to Google and you're going to learn about it. That's why, how many days am I giving you to do this, kids? How many days? 3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't wait on this thing, by the way. You might want to start today. Research. You are making your own slideshows. Then hopefully we'll have 2 weeks to present to our classmates about this. Maybe perhaps for extra credit where you can actually show your screencast. You're going to send me the screencast. I don't even need the slideshow. I want to see the screencast. And what I'm going to do is I'm planning on watching the screencast over a screencast. And you're going to get to watch my reaction as I watch your screencast. Right? How's that? Because that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And I can give you like my point here. Here, I can give you my opinion as I watch your screencast. All right? That's what I was thinking. It'll be kind of fun. A screencast over a screencast, and I'll give you a grade. This will be the last big grade of the year, too, by the way. This will be like the last big project. I'm picking it now because this will give me 2 weeks to nag you for it if you don't turn it in. All right? Be a big grade, big number, beautiful assignment. Enjoy it.